Okay, am I visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, let's start the session. Today I am talking about how to build and host a web app on Azure using vibe coding with GitHub Copilot. First, I am Induvara Utsara, Microsoft Student Ambassador and first year undergraduate at UCSC. You can contact me through these links. This is my portfolio and this is my LinkedIn link. You can contact me through these links if you have any problems. Okay, before going to the session, raise hand if you use ChatGPT for fix errors that you never learn about, never read that error code. You don't read the error and you just copy the error and paste it into the ChatGPT, and you go take the solution and you use it, or you copy that entire ChatGPT code and put in the website and it's work, and you think you are genius. And if you are spend more time with writing prompts or instruction than write codes, I think most of ones are like this. Am I correct? In this with this AI and this generation, most of ones are, I think, like this. Okay. So let's look at what is the vibe coding. Vibe coding, vibe coding is in the core you just say AI to write everything for you. This is this concept. This is the concept introduced by Anendra Kapati. He said there is a new kind of coding I call vibe coding, where you fully give in the vibes, embrace exponential, and forget the code even it exit. You forget that code even it exit, and it's possible because of the LLM, also known as AI. So it's the shift from the being a writer to typing syntax to director. In the old way, you construct. Wait. In the old way, you construct this all buttons. You write all codes. You write all syntax. But in the vibe way, you say make it pop and add some neon hover effect. You don't write any codes. You just give instruction. Okay. And from this is the from write I mean you write everything in the traditional way. In this direct I mean you direct AI. You you give instruction to AI and it's do everything for you. In the traditional coding, you should memorize all syntax and libraries. You should manual debug, and you need to write a boilerplate code line by line, and you can easy to lose the flow. But in the vibe coding, you focus on the logic and use experience. That's mean you just need to say to AI, when user click this button, show this message. You need to just say it to AI and he write that's all logic for you. And AI generate implementation, and this is the main part. Also human can make errors. Also AI can make errors. AI is not always perfect, so AI can make errors, so you should review that code that's made right by AI, and it's the high speed because you don't need to think about code, you don't need to think about logics. Logics mean you should say logic, but you shouldn't write it. AI write it for you. Okay. And this is the vibe stack we used in this session. We use Visual Studio Code as our uh, coding editor, and we use GitHub Copilot as our engine, and we use Azure as our storage. It's mean for the deployment we use Azure. So first step is the prompt. I said this is the we use AI. So for the AI, as you use ChatGPT, we always give instruction. So in this part, you also need to give instruction. This instruction we say we call it as prompt. In this AI, in this prompt, there is the three parts. We say this to art of the prompt. So basically, when you garbage in, it's out garbage. Uh, Also like this, when you give good prompt, it's output good things. So you, if you want a good output, you should type a good prompt to AI. This prompt I separate to three parts. First one is the persona. So persona mean we say AI, who are you? It's mean tell AI who it is, like a senior React developer. And we use context, like we give files and our resources to AI, and he read that files. And the constraint, uh, we specify our libraries and our limitation to our requirement to AI. This is the vibe week. Also, vibe, bad vibe prompt. In this, it's only say make a button for the website. This is the bad habit. AI don't know what it should do correctly. But in the good way, in the this is the good prompt. We say act as a UI expert. So I say to AI, act as a UI expert and create a subscribe button component using Tailwind CSS. We say how what libraries should he use, and it should have a neon green gradient, pulse animation on hover, and be accessible. Use Lucid React for the icon. This is very descriptive. So AI can know exactly what to do. Uh, so this is how we should write prompts. Let's go to next slide. And iteration and fixing. So as I before said, AI is not perfect. He can make bug. He can make wrong codes. So we should fix that AI written codes. Refine refine UI means sometimes it's not it's AI, it's UI not suitable for our requirement. So we should refine UI and give instruction to it. And fixing bugs, like AI also make bugs. So we should say there is the bug, and we you should fix that bug. And we can add in data by prompting. So AI is not always perfect. AI also make logic errors. So AI written code may be not reach to your requirements. So you should fix that code also. And wipe coding is very easy. You just need to give some instruction. But wipe debugging is very hard. Always debugging. When you write codes, you have to debug, and that's debugging part is complex. Also, wipe debugging is, so when in the traditional debugging, you know what you written, you know what you are written part codes and why you read this logic as this way, you know everything. So in that way debugging is easy. But in the wide debugging, you don't know why this AI or this LLM write this in this way. So you should read all codes to know this why happened, why this why this error happened. You need to read all codes. So why debugging is hard. Here's another meme. Open code editor and you prompt AI to write the code and you view the output, get a bunch of errors and ask the AI to fix them. But now it's somehow worse. So somehow you need to fix this all errors by debugging. You can use AI for that debugging also, but you should have to know what he write exactly for debugging. And after you debugging it code, now you have perfectly working code base or perfectly working app. So next you can host the app. Okay, now move to demo. I'm planning to do a create a demo with create a React app. So have you any suggestion for the app? Let's create this kind of app. Any suggestion? I'm planning to do a simple to-do app. If you have any suggestion, you can put to chat. And I hope to create a portfolio also if we have enough time. Okay, let's create a to-do app. I create a new folder for the to-do app and I'm open VS Code. I open VS Code. I think my screen is not visible. Is my screen is visible?
Yeah, it's just yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
visible. Indura.
thank you. Okay. I open folder and I open this. I created empty folder. Okay. Now, if you have GitHub Pro, I will show how to check it. Go to your GitHub profile and go to overview section. And this highlight part, you can see there is a Pro. If you have this Pro, you can install this GitHub Copilot extension in the VS Code. In the extension, GitHub, type GitHub Copilot, and you can see this extension here. I installed it already. If you not installed this, you can install it here. And then you can see this kind of icon here, and it show premium request. So you can, if you have GitHub Student Pro version, you can use this premium request. Also, you can get easily this GitHub Pro by your campus email. If you are campus student, you should have campus email. So using this GitHub, using that email, you can use GitHub Pro. So in the GitHub Pro, I will show what are the benefit you can have in the. There are a lot of benefits, but in the GitHub Copilot, if you only have free version, you can access this 0x models. You can only access these 0x models. But if you have this Copilot Pro version, you can access this premium models also. So this premium models is very powerful, very strong. Also, you have this premium request quota, and this is renewed by every month. Okay, let's start. So my plan is to create a React app. So I don't assume I don't know React. The good way, the best thing is, before you doing a project, you should have knowledge for it. If you don't know React, you can go to react.dev and study it. But you can create a React app without knowing about it. So I say to this, create a React app for me. I'm only saying that create React app for me, but we talk as a good prompt. I'm saying act. Is this visible? Act as a senior React developer. Okay. I selected this small model. I use new chat, and I use another good model for good powerful model. You can use this GPT models. GPT 5.1 is the latest model. I use it, and there are some agent. There are some modes. You can use agent. Agent mean it's write codes, and it can read files. It can use your terminal, and ask is it's you can ask problem from it, and it can't do anything. Also, you can use edit mode and plan mode. Plan mode mean it's plan everything before develop. Okay, I use now agent mode and use this GPT 5.1 model, and I give this prompt. Now it's planning everything. It's thinking, and he create to-do list from itself. What should I do? Let's create a Copilot instruction list. Okay, ready to build. It's asked what's the pick. I say first one. Let's see. Okay, now he give this prompt. This mean npx create to white. This is the command to create a React app, and it asks permission for execute this command. This is the terminal command, and we can make this allow. And if you don't want to request this every time, you can say always allow this command npx create. Okay, I make this allow now. You can see this is my terminal. Now he put that for me there. Okay. Now he create this React app. Okay, it's create React app and let's check it. Yes, it's create React app correctly. Okay. Now I open new chat. And I say create a to-do list. Create a to-do list app. Before it I say act as a senior React dev. Create a to-do app. Make it very nice UI, responsible for mobile. So as this you can say all requirement you need. I put enter. Now it's working. We just have to wait some time for it's working. While that time I create my let's start. I create a GitHub repository for my project. I'm going to GitHub and new React to do app. Okay, I create repository and I copy this my repo URL. Okay, it's thinking and you can see it's read files and now it's editing app.txx file. And it's think about crypto random safety available SSR. And it's edit CSS files, app.css file, index.css file. Okay, Now you can see in there 3 files changed. They are said 3 files changed: app.css file, app.txx file, and index.css file. In the presentation, I said you should review this all things by doing by AI. So the red color thing is he deleted things, and the green color is he newly added things. So you can check, is this change you need one or not. Then you can, if it's correct changes, you can keep it, or not, you can undo that change. If I review this all file, I can make keep for these 3 files, keep all edits by in there. Okay. Now this said rebuild the full feature to do experience with quick capture, priority clips, and filter search. That he did everything, and craft a bold gradient driven mobile responsive layout and reset global styling. So he said what he done by this changes. And next step, he said do npm install if not yet, and make npm run dev to explore UI on mobile and desktop. I can't do this. I'm lazy to do this, and I say to do it. I'm said do it. Okay, that's all. That's enough. Let's see. Okay, here install packages. You can see they are Tailwind installed. Sometimes he do unnecessary things, so you can cancel the chat agent doing things by there, and you can get control to your hand. Okay, copy this and let's start. I think he not going to npm run dev. Let's stop this and paste the things. Okay, let's see how what he developed. I refresh this. Wow, nice. Let's create nice to-do app. We can check total and completed task and open task. We can check and can add new one, and it can add priority. There is UI bug with the colors. We can search. Okay. Now I notice a bug, UI bug here. Now I'm doing is get a screenshot and paste it here. I can paste images to this chat, and I'm saying there are is a UI bug, fix it. Let's see. We can see there he fix CSS. We can check this what fix. This green color 4 lines is the fix. Okay. It's fixed. If you notice, there was 2 arrows before. He fixed it. But I now say this drop down background color and text color is not matching. As a UI expert, fix this UI bug, use suitable colors for drop down. Okay, let's see. It's edit again app.css file, and it changed the background color of input and select, and add select option, background and color properties. Okay. Yeah, now it's fixed. That's how we fix errors or bugs in these apps in the vibe coding. But if let's think here, AI couldn't identify what's you saying thing, what you mean by this drop down, and if AI unable to identify what you saying, you have to manually read this all file and check where is the error, and you have to fix it by manually reading all files, and you have to do it yourself. For that, you should have fundamental knowledge and basic knowledge about these things. I mean, React and CSS. These are when you developing things, you should know about these things. If not, when debugging part is very complex. Sometimes AI can understand what you said. If you unable to describe what is the bug, I hear this describe drop down background color and text is not matching. I said drop down. This is the technical words. If you don't know what tell to how call to this part, if you don't know about this, it's hard to debug. You can see I paste this image, but he only identify this 2 arrow bug. He didn't identify this. So you have to have good fundamental knowledge. Okay, so we have developed to do app. It's function well. I add task, complete my portfolio, and I add focus as the priority, and I can check what are completed and what are active, and I can here clear all completed tasks. Sorry. Yeah. to-do app is functioning well. So can you access this to-do app now? Is anyone can access this to-do app? I can access because this is in my local host, so I can access this, but you can't. So for that, we have to host this app. In this hosting part, I use Azure. So you can go to portal.azure.com. Okay, and I go to static web apps. In here I use this I use for the hosting. Before hosting, I need to push this into the GitHub. Okay, and I close. There is one unreviewed changes here, and I can keep check this and review. This review part is very important because you should have knowledge what AI do here. Okay, and I can close these things or tabs. Using different chat for the different task is good practice. So I use new chat and I say I want to git I want to push my code to GitHub, and I created GitHub repo, and I give my GitHub repo link I created previously, and I say push my code to this repo. Guys, keep staying till the session end, and we collect your attendance at the end of the session, and we give e-certificate for you. And it's doing something and have errors continuously. Let's see. So pushing code to GitHub is the simple process, but even this is you can do it by Copilot. Before you allow these commands, you should know what's doing by that command, what is mean by git repo add origin, what's doing by git add, what is the git status, git commit is what. You should know these basic things. Okay, it's push to GitHub. I refresh, and now my code is on GitHub. Okay, now I go to Azure and create a static app. I choose some resource group and I give name to do app. Okay, and I choose source as a GitHub, and I select my profile, and I now create a React to do app repository, and I going to create it. It's initializing deployment. So in the GitHub actions, okay, there is a request to show steps that I doing after the push into GitHub. I go to portal.azure.com. That is the Azure things doing here. In the Azure, you can use a lot of things, and I search static web app. You can search is static web apps. So we're going to create a static web app. In here, I click this create button, and I can create a static web app here. For this, you have to have a subscription. For me, I have a student ambassador subscription, and for you, you can use your campus email and register here, and you can receive some credits, and you can use that subscription for this subscription. And I choose a resource group. That's not much important. You can create a resource group. Resource group mean you can create a same collection for the one group. And I use deployment details as the GitHub. You can choose Azure DevOps and other. So for this time I use GitHub because I push all codes to GitHub, and I can select my organization as my profile. And repository mean I created this repository. And for repository, I create React to do app, and branch I choose as the main. If you don't know much about GitHub, I do session previously. You can check it by my YouTube channel. So I give name for my app here, and you can create it. Here it's said your deployment is completed, and I am going to resources, and I'm going to my URL. Now it said congratulations, your site, congratulations on your site. And now I'm going to GitHub action. Every time you push code into your GitHub repository, it's it's called GitHub CI/CD, and it's automatically build your code and it's update on your Azure. So it's you only have to upload your code into GitHub, other everything done by GitHub Actions. So here I can see an error, and this is the error. This is because of misconfiguration of the code. So I copy this part, and I'm going again to the VS Code, and I create new chat, and I paste this. So he working on it. It's read Azure instruction.md. This is the readme file, and it's read package.json. So he get complete knowledge about whole app. He it's preparing to fix Azure build output folder mismatch. It's planning to workflow with fixbase. And here he prepared a file to link file. Now he create this, edit this file. This errors is because of previously it had hidden the output location as a build, but if you know about React, React output location is the this dist folder. It's by white. Okay, I can commit this to GitHub. This change to GitHub, and I commit it and sync changes. And now when I go to GitHub Actions again, I only did is just fix the error and push code to GitHub. And in the GitHub Actions, it's automatically build deployment and change it in the Azure. Now it's building our code. This take averagely 1 to 2 minutes for deployment. Let's wait and see. Okay, it's built successfully. And you go into this, and before it's had red because of error, and now you can see green tick here. And I'm refresh this again, and I can use my React app. I can share this with you. Okay, so we create successfully website with vibe coding. So we didn't watch about actually the code base. I mean, we watch, but we're not going code through deeply, but somehow it's working. This is the call vibe coding. But before coming to the vibe code, you should have good knowledge about what's happening there. So guys, if you like to create a new app, please raise hand, or I can move to the presentation again. So have you raise hand if you have a portfolio? So I create this within 30 minutes. Okay, good. So raise hand if you have who want to know how to create a portfolio within 30 minutes. Okay, okay. Okay. So portfolio mean, if you don't know what is the portfolio, this called portfolio. This include your all details uh, about you and what are you done projects, what are the skill you have, and what's your journey, your education, and your experience, and other things that you can relate it. And if you write a blog, you can include your articles here and your contact details. So this is called portfolio, and you can have some extra things, some additional features like a chatbot. It can give details based on our portfolio. Okay, so I'm going to create this kind of portfolio now. So before create a portfolio, we need to some details. So I'm going to ChatGPT. This ChatGPT know everything about me. So I say, wait a minute. Okay, I say to ChatGPT, I need to create a portfolio. For the portfolio, give every detail about me. Okay. Let's create my tagline and about me description and my education, professional roles, and my company I work, my technical skill. So ChatGPT know everything about me. This have a good side and bad side. So you can do some works easily with when you say everything about you to ChatGPT, and other hand there is the privacy issue. Okay, this is my projects, technical skills, and everything. Okay, now I'm going to create a new project now. So I create new folder for this. I'm saying portfolio, create app, create a folder. Sorry. Okay, this is still writing. Okay, it's completed. Okay, it's completed. I copy this my details file and go into there and create a, I open this in the VS Code, open folder, and open portfolio, and my details I create text file as my details.txt. So if you can create this file manually. This file mean your details file. You can create it manually by entering your details, your academic and your skills, your projects. You can add to notepad txt file, and yeah, you should have to add the image for you. Okay, I put image here. Oh, sorry. I copy my image. Let's copy entire download folder. My bad. Wait. Okay, now here is my details txt file and my portfolio, my image. Okay, so I say to I can include my I can attach files here simply by dragging. So it's I attach my details.txt file and image file, and I say to this create a portfolio, act as a senior web dev and create a portfolio, make visually nice. So you can add your all requirements, what kind of theme you want to use, and your everything you can include here. So I for now I only add this simple prompt. But when you are developing portfolio, or when you are developing project, include your every requirement here. Make this prompt very lengthy, very detailed. Okay, it's thinking. While it's thinking, I am create a new GitHub repo. I name it to new portfolio because I have already portfolio. You can add description or you can make it blank. I'm creating a repository and I'm copy repo link. It's create HTML file. Let's go live. It's still creating. Only HTML, no CSS. Now it's creating initializing style sheet. Okay, next step, he say open HTML file in the browser to review and refresh this. Wow, it's create nice portfolio. It's include my photo available for freelance, and it's include my GitHub links. It's include my blog. It's include my technical skills, projects. So within, I think this create within 10 minutes. Yeah, within 10 minutes you can have nice portfolio. So I say to upload this portfolio to GitHub, and I give my Git repo link. I newly created a repo link and send. Or you can simply go to this resource control and initialize repository and add this everything, and give commit message. Commit message also can generate by AI with this generate button. I stop this for now. Is initialize git commit message, and I can commit it. There's another changes. I can make it to stage change and commit again, and I publish branch. So I can create my repo by here without going to GitHub. So I don't have to go to GitHub. I can create my repo in within VS Code, and when open GitHub, my code is here. So previously I show you to how to host on the Azure. This is the Azure. So but if you have problem with Azure, so this is required some credits, and it's required some resource subscription. So GitHub is free. You can use GitHub also for the hosting. This kind of simple static page and front end. You can host your front end application in the GitHub without going to Azure. So I also show how to host on the GitHub. For that, you need to upload your code to here and go to the setting, and here you can see pages. This called GitHub pages, and I select GitHub action. Sorry, deploy from the branch, and it select main. Okay. So here is main branch, and I select root, Okay, let's wait for the GitHub Actions. Yeah, I can configure it here, GitHub Actions. Commit changes. Now it's pending. It's in progress. Okay, it's done. Now you can see when you go into settings and pages, you can see there is the visit site. So this link you can share to your colleagues or in the social media. So I will show how its links appear. In there, this is your GitHub profile name, and GitHub IO is GitHub pages one, and this is the your repository name. So you can make only Git portfolio. If you make your name as only portfolio, you can use this kind of links for your portfolio. Also, if you buy domain, you can have a buy domain. You can use custom domain here. So it's 8:19, and within 20 minutes we create a portfolio and it's host on GitHub. Okay guys, have anyone problem about this? Have any questions? So can I move to presentation again? You can unmute and ask questions. Have anyone question about this demo? Okay, quickly show what's the process I did in the GitHub pages. I use new repository for it. I use a React to web repository for this because this one is already done. I'm go to the settings. Now this is React app. So let's use that repository, same repository. I unpublish this site and I remove these actions. I remove this GitHub folder here. and I commit it again. Okay, now this repository is in the same as when I push to GitHub. It's only have index.html file, my details.txt file, my photo and styles file. So first I'm going to the settings and I'm going to the pages, and I can see there is the add Jekyll themes. Is opening a doc. You can read this, how to do it, or simply you can go to the, it's not unpublished. Okay. You can simply go to these actions and in the actions tab you can see Jekyll using Docker images configure. This is good for the HTML files. I click this configure and it's created YML file and I can commit it. So now I'm going to do these settings and pages. This action is pending. This take around 1 minute. Okay, it's done. And when you go to settings and pages, I think second action is not yet. It's still deploying. You can see what's configuring here, and yeah, it's completed. So you can visit the page. Clear or have any questions? You can unmute and ask or put to chat. Okay, I'm going to presentation. There is a advice for student. So you can see with vibe coding, you can create website, you can create to-do apps, you can create anything without knowing any fundamental things, any foundation knowledge. Without any foundation knowledge, you can create anything. Like when you are in the campus, you can create your campus group project with this vibe coding, but that is a little bit wrong. Wrong mean the campus things are campus group projects and other things are have to learn for you. It's to study the coding for you. Study Java, C, and PHP. That's project are for uh, make a chance to you to study things. So when for the projects you doing by vibe coding, you learn nothing. It's a very wrong thing. For the for the when you are in the learning stage, you should learn first. After, when you are going to industry, when you have good fundamental knowledge about things, you can use vibe coding and you can create things within a few minutes. You can increase your productivity. But if you are still in the learning stage, you can use vibe coding. Oh, sorry. Or uh, also in the campus, when you are in the campus, you have learned about the fundamental and you have knowledge about how everything is working. You can use vibe coding for increase your productivity. But when you are in the learning stage, you should remember, you should not use vibe coding. You can use vibe coding for the small things like style this page beautifully. When you don't have time to style it well, you can use vibe coding. But uh, you should remember what you should have to study. You should have to understand what AI developing, what is developing AI. You should have to understand it. So it's the very important part. Also, student can learn best by seeing real codes. Copilot give examples and it's write codes as real world. The production level codes he write. So you can check for think you have to create a login page. And login page backend is very critical part because it's need very security. So you don't know how to create a that's kind of security base security first login page. So for that instance, that kind of instance, you can create you can prompt to AI to create a login page for you, and you can study that code how we write it, and then you can delete that code and you can write it yourself. Thing is, you learn from it because you are a student, no? So in the student age, uh, student stage, you should learn. After, you can use vibe. Also use Copilot as a assistant, not as the answer key. So you should learn how to use AI tools. The thing is, there is the problem. AI can replace our jobs. When we go into industry, there is no jobs because AI replace our jobs. That's a very wrong. That is happening is AI can't replace you. You replaced by another person who use AI tools. Listen carefully. AI can't replace you. AI is a just tool. So tool can't replace you. Happening thing is a human, a person, your friend that use AI tools replace you. So if you need to survive in the job, you should learn how to use these AI tools and how you increase your productivity by using that AI tools. And always review what you uh, generated by AI and study generated code. You should have a knowledge what is this happening, and you should have you should understand before deploying. So before you push your code to production level, you should understand what's include your codes, how your codes work. Okay. There is a trap. It's called skill atrophy. Copilot accelerate good developers, but deploys destroy beginners who try to skip learning. The thing is, your natural coding ability gets weak when you use AI repeatedly, because you rely too much on AI, AI to think for you. For the example, if you never write the for loop, you eventually forgot how it's work. Not the syntax for loops, not the it's not called about the AI for loop syntax, but how it's working thing is also forget. Where if you never write for loops, for loop is for the example, but when you're in the when you coding, if you are not thinking about it and you doing everything by AI, you can forget it. And when AI is fall and it's will, so always AI is not with you. Sometimes you have to do things without AI, and you like this. So this is very dangerous because you stop thinking, you stop learning, and you can't resolve problems without AI. If you, I call this, if you very rely too much on AI, I'm saying to use vibe coding, but don't too much rely on it. So when you code during the exam, if you not code yourself, if you didn't practice yourself, if you didn't learn by coding, so in the exam you also can't complete answers. When things are break, you are, when bugs happening, you can't fix it. And the special thing is, when you are in the interview, it's give a exams like not exams, it's called coding test. The interview say you to write a small code for this problem. In that kind of cases, if you are too much rely on the AI and vibe coding, you can't you didn't learn anything. You destroy in that point. Okay. And vibe code has ugly side, spaghetti mess, and security hallucination. That's mean you say to AI to make this very strong security, with very strong security, but AI say I develop this with very strong, but you are not checking it because you imagine you don't have knowledge about to how to test your security. You should learn that. But if you don't know how to measure your security, uh, things can happen. Things can be, your code can break on the production. Also, impossible debugging. I said this before. And how to vibe responsively. So in the vibe coding, when you're in the vibe coding, uh, you can treat your copilot as the junior, and you are in the senior developer and your copilot is junior. So always when senior doing some things by junior, you should always review what he doing, because he's junior, no? He can do things well, but sometimes he can doing wrong things, or he can break your app. So always before you push to code, before you push code to production, or before you present your project, you should have better knowledge about what this AI doing by doing in this project. Also understand before you commit, never push code you can't explain. So in the campus, you have experience with the campus projects. After the campus project, lecture asks some problems in this from your project, and if you can't explain that part, what you did here and why you did here, uh, you have to fail. So it's very important, understand before you commit. It's okay to do, you don't have a knowledge things you can doing by AI, but you should learn it after AI write it. For the example, uh, it's okay to, there is some root will show, there is a CSS root. This is not you normally you start with this body and things, but here is the root, but you don't you never heard about this root, but AI written this. It's okay. So you should have to do is, you can open Copilot, so you can learn by Copilot, or you can Google this, what is happening by this root. Let's ask him, explain this root. Okay, let's see. So you never heard about these things, this called variables in the CSS. So you can learn about this root from here. This is the way you should learn. Okay, and keep learning fundamentals. This fundamental, it's a big word. Big word mean a big valuable word. You should learn fundamentals. It's very important. And vibe coding is force multiplier, not scale replacement. You can't doing everything by AI. You can't you can't say I don't learn HTML. I don't need to learn HTML. I don't need to learn how to website working. It's no AI. I can use AI for that. You can't say that. So you should learn fundamentals. So we are coming to end of our session today. Have any questions? Have any question about demo or vibe coding? Anything? Okay, there is a question. Can Azure host only static websites? No. In the Azure, you can go to Azure here. You can host anything here. So let's go to functions. There's thing called Azure functions. Web service. You can host your backend here, and you can host your database. You can create a database here. Also, there is a lot of services here, and you can create a virtual machines here for any project you want. Azure is not limited to one thing. You can do, here's the function app. You can create functions like APIs things here, and storage accounts, and here is the load balancer. Load balancer mean when you have sorry, when you have too many requests to your site and you need to spread that request to different servers, you can do it here. And Azure SQL databases, There is a lot of things here. So you can do anything. Anything mean host a website, and here's a DevOps thing. DevOps. If you need DevOps, you can manage Azure DevOps by here. CosmoDB, lot of things. So basically, Azure is not only for the static website. You can use Azure for anything. So any more questions? You can unmute and ask or put messages to QA. Okay, if not, there is the attendance form. You can scan this and you can receive a certificate by attendance. You should. So in the Q&A, I can see there is a question. Can we host database in GitHub free? No. In the GitHub, there is a no feature for the GitHub. Host GitHub may host database in the GitHub. You can host static website on the GitHub pages. And you can use GitHub as a project management tool. You can create a new project, and yes, you can, for the project management, like you can create a Kanban, bug tracker and things here. But GitHub don't give database hosting features. It's for the code sharing and collaboration things. And the main thing is, if you are a campus student, maintain your GitHub profile well. So looking at the GitHub profile, we can, if you're a developer, looking at the GitHub profile, we can say what kind of person is this, like what he developed and what's technologies, like in the portfolio, you can say, I know HTML, I know C, I know Java. You can say it's in the portfolio and CV, but you can prove it here in the GitHub. You can prove it. I have this knowledge, and I have done these things in the C. I have done these things in the JS. So you can say that things in the, you can prove that things in the portfolio. Sorry, in the GitHub. Any more questions? You can put in the Q&A section. Fill this form for the certificate, e-certificate you will receive. If you don't have question, we can wrap up today's session. Okay, thank you for your attendance to here. If you have any question further, you can contact me through this my portfolio or my in my LinkedIn profile. If you want to get my contact details, I'll put it here. And also I will share presentation. Here is the my contact details. and I will share attendance form. Okay. I think. Okay, guys. Let's wrap up the session.